Burn it down, nigga. I'm not here to hype you up. Burn that shit down.
Yeah. Stories from the mud. Yeah. 3 o'clock in the morning, out standing in the rain, devil whispering my name, shit would never be
the first place winner of the inaugural Media Famous Showcase. Ruger Rome in the building.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. Yeah.
He's to my right. And tell him a little bit about yourself, Rube.
My name is Ruger Rome, man. I'm just not coming right back out, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to do my thing now, you know what I mean? Heavy in the studio, working on a new project. My manager's O.M.G. We're just trying to get it on, man. Trying to put it on for the city, you know what I mean?
L, you mentioned you. You gotta let them know who you are. Why we blessed with your presence.
I'm Nino. I'm Ruger Rome's manager. You know what I mean? I used to do the music thing too, the group thing. But I'm where I always want to be. You know what I mean? Playing the backstreet, playing the cut. I mean, like a band-aid. What I do. Man, we about to take this thing to a whole other level, man. DTR.
It's time, baby. It's time.
Nice. So when'd you get involved with music, man? When'd you get involved?
Man, I started spitting when I was like 15 for real. But I wasn't really taking it as serious as I am now, you know what I'm saying? It took a long road to get mature enough to really ready to do it for real, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I started rapping like 15, 16. Just me and the homies, recording in my man's garage, you know what I'm saying? Did a whole little mixtape with I had a whole group going on. We're still grabbing click, you know what I'm saying? But 2 of my dogs had died in 06 and 07. And they was like the big dogs of the crew, you know what I'm saying? So when they left, it was I kind of felt like it was gonna be over for real, but I kind of stepped up to the plate, you know what I'm saying? And we started doing it from there, you know what I mean?
Tell us about the early years. With just getting involved with music. Like you said, you had your squad, you know what I mean? Y'all would get together. Like, tell us what that looked like.
Yeah, we was like 4 deep at first. It was me, El Nino, we had Steve Streets, and we had Diz with us. And that was like 2012-ish. And we was recording different little studios, but nowhere that had a good sound for real. Like I ain't have enough guts in me. I didn't think I was good enough to roll with the big dogs yet, you know what I'm saying? So finally, when I felt like I was good enough for real, and like I had enough oomph for me to get up on that stage. And I had stage fright forever, man.
Okay.
It took me a long time to.
About a good 6 months.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get on that stage. I used to have to get drunk and shit, you know what I'm saying, just to get on stage. But yeah, I mean, I shook out of it. In about 2013, I finally hollered at my big guns, Joey Fats, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zuka. But
Zook?
Yeah, he was like, come on, little guy, you know what I'm saying? He put me in the right position. He took me to the right studio. He got me down at Ricky P, Premier Studios, whatever out there, you know what I'm saying? From there, we just started making noise, you know what I mean?
Okay. All right. So, what part of town? What side of town y'all from?
North side, man. I'm from the north side. My man from the hill, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah, that's right.
we don't discriminate though, man. We try to put on everywhere. We don't care where we at. You know what I mean? Anywhere we go,
Hoods, man.
anywhere we go, we still turn up. You know what I mean? It don't matter east, west, south, north. You know what I mean? But I'm from the north, born and raised. You know what I'm saying?
So, the On My Grind podcast is rolling, and we're of course recording live. And so, I think we good to go, man. So I could put 100%, attention into the interview situation. So, L, you know what I mean? You came into the fold as an artist, man. Tell us about how, those transitions took place for you.
Well, for me, it was kind of simple. Like, I've always wanted to be in the background of the music. I never really wanted to be the artist. You know what I mean? Even though I can be an artist, but I never wanted to be my position. Like, I know a lot about music. Mm-hmm. I got an ear for music, and I've always wanted to be in this position that I am now. And what better, or who better than my man than to, stand behind, right? And I'm 100%, 1,000% behind my man. I got faith in it, When y'all niggas hearing, when the world hearing, y'all gonna have faith too, man. We got a story to tell.
For sure.
So one of the things I noticed earlier about Rube is like, you know how people, you know, they say they got that it factor, right? You know what I mean? They got that starlight quality. Early on, when y'all first started doing y'all thing, or when I first came to the fold and noticed y'all doing y'all thing, Rube was just that one that just
Stood out.
like, and not even that he just stood out. He's the one that brought everybody together. Like that energy was just like unbelievable. Where do you think that element came from within you, my brother?
I couldn't tell you, man. It's just the mob society, man. I always been wanting to try to get everybody together, though, man. I always feel like murder numbers, you know what I mean?
Right.
Some unity type shit, man. And I always been a team player, man. If one eat, we go all eat, you know what I mean? But I was kind of shallow back then. I wasn't thinking right, you know what I mean? Instead of doing that in a group factor where everybody can't be on the same page all the time. You know what I'm saying? My man L was telling me back then, like, bro, just go ahead and do your own thing. Get your foot in the door. You can bring everybody else later. But right now, you know what I mean? Your mind is somewhere else than everybody else's is. So the time is now, you know what I mean? I went through a little hiatus. I lost my vision for a little bit, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So I took a year and a half off and just blind, going crazy. I was still writing, though. I was writing my ass off, man. But my man Bib kind of resurrected me, man. Bibby, shout out to Bibby out the booth. But
Shout out to the man, Bib.
he kind of resurrected me, man. I was calling out, reaching out to people like, yo, I'm in here blind. And I can't see, and I'm going crazy, and I got all this music built up.
Right.
And what nobody trying to really hear me out and come through and holler at me or just anything, you know what I'm saying? It was just I was on the east side, which ain't my side of town for real. I was scared to go outside because I couldn't see. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My man Babe showed up next morning. He was like, let's go. He put the beats on. We start spitting. And from there, we just clicked. You know what I'm saying? So my first studio session back, we went to JPad. Shout out to JPad. You know what I'm saying? But my first session back, I couldn't even see. My man was like,
I remember you hit me up and told me, you know what I mean? But you wanted to get back into it. You was like, but I'm dealing with this vision issue. I'm going to be all right. You always was positive about that. Like, I'm going to be all right. But, you know, I want to get back into it. And, you know what I mean? What do we need to do to be able to make it shake?
Yeah.
And, you know, just from a fan's perspective, it's really good to see you not give up, you know what I mean, and not allow life circumstances to defeat you, because, you know, we all deal with pressure, we all deal with life, you know what I mean, that stuff happens. So to what you're willing to share, can you talk about some of your personal demons that you had to fight through, and just some of the ups and downs that led you taking a hiatus from music?
Yeah, man, I was just going through it mentally, you know what I'm saying, and obviously physically, because my health was a big part of the issue, you know what I'm saying. They kept misdiagnosing me at the hospital with, you know what I mean, they told me it was a cornea ulcer and all kind of other stuff. Meanwhile, I had cornea failure. Right. You know what I'm saying? So one day I just woke up and I couldn't see no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when that happened, my depression kicked in, you know what I mean? It just whooped my ass, man. I was just down. I ain't really want. I was just out of my mind, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't able to do anything that I wanted to do for real, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kalia, you know what I mean? She came through and she was like, come on, bro, let somebody help you, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And she moved me to the east side and told me, like, yeah, you're good right here for a minute. Just get your mind right, you know what I'm saying? But I had to fight through a lot of like you said, man, a lot of demons, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm a father of four, man, so I couldn't attend the football games and basketball games, and I was going through a lot, family issues, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
So now that about 6 months ago, about 8 months ago now, I got a cornea transplant.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And they gave me an eyeball, and I've been able to see. So I'm back at it. You know what I'm saying? I'm full-fledged. My mind's a lot better. I can see more clear. I'm hungry as ever. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of the mistakes that I was making a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Speak on it, man, because one of the things that I believe, like, as far as like education, right? I'm a real big proponent of teaching and helping people to understand. But in our last meeting that we had on the follow-up, L mentioned the importance of learning. You know what I mean? And he mentioned in regards to, you know, I'm trying to tell y'all and teach you all what you need to know, but you got to go through your own process, right?
Yes.
And so I'm glad to hear you speak on that. But speak on, like, now that you're in this place and you can take a look back on the mistakes that you feel you've made as an artist.
I made a lot of mistakes as an artist, man. I had a lot of influential people around me. Like I said, like we got with Grandma, like I had people telling me the steps to take, but me being hard-headed, and that's just what I am. I've been a hard-headed kid since I was Yeah, I mean, but I had to see for myself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And a lot of the mistakes was just simple, stupid ones, man. Going to these shows, getting hammered before I get on stage. You know what I'm saying? Getting up there with 50 people, other people that wasn't supposed to be on the stage. And it just makes it look all trash, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I went to a couple shows recently, and I was looking at these groups, and I'm like, man, they're good. And I could see Grammy Click. I could see my squad doing the exact same thing that they were doing. You know what I'm saying? And looking crazy, just too drunk, you know what I mean? And then once you get off stage, you want to scream and holler your gang shit, and then you leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead of sticking around and paying homage to the other artists, you know what I'm saying? Instead of sticking around and socializing and networking the way you're supposed to, I just wasn't doing none of that. I wanted to be in the hood. I wanted to be back. I wanted to get back to the north side before the doors closed. You know what I'm saying? I want to turn up with my guys instead of taking this shit serious. You know what I'm saying? Because this is my life, man. You know what I mean? If I don't take it serious, who the fuck is?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's good that you were able to have that moment of clarity. You know what I mean? Because the one thing about education is it means nothing if a person isn't willing to take in the information. And experience 100% of the time is the best teacher. But sometimes those experiences got to come with lumps and bruises and, you know what I mean, setbacks. And it gives you, it puts you in a position to have a greater appreciation. So to the people, I mean, I know from what I was able to see, y'all probably were one of the few groups that had a solid fan base. No matter what time, where, if Grammy was on stage, you knew you had about maybe 30, 40 other cats that was going to be in the room.
It was definitely good.
100%. 100%.
Exactly. The whole big amount of talent and everything.
The whole nine. We're gonna get into that story about the Turnpike breakdown. We're gonna get into that. But what I want to know is, how do you think they're gonna receive you? You know, coming back. You know, particularly as a solo artist. You know what I mean? But coming back with the tour.
Yeah, well, I've been hollering at a couple people lately, you know what I'm saying? I've been getting back in the mix of things. Like I said, for me being, I wasn't only out of music, I was out of touch with everybody. You know what I'm saying? I was on the other side of town, so now that I'm back in my natural element, man, back around the way with my people and shit, they're glad to see me back, man. And I've been letting them hear what's going on, and they can appreciate the shit that's coming out now. It's a lot more mature, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm a lot more grown up than without, you know what I mean? And plus, once you go through a dark spell in your life, once you go through some shit, you know what I'm saying, your writing becomes way better. That's why when people come home from jail, you know what I mean, their shit be on fire because they had all this time to really soak it in, you know what I'm saying? And I wasn't in jail this whole time, but in my mind, I was in prison, you know what I'm saying? Right. I couldn't see, so I was sitting here, just everything I wrote was just raw emotions, raw feelings. And that's what you're getting out of me now, you know what I'm saying? And they can hear it, you know what I mean?
Okay. So as a management, have you guys talked about or put together a plan to be able to reconnect with the core fan base and a strategy to attract a bigger fan base?
Man, we are always looking for new things. Our fans know our music. They know real good music. So, I mean, this music that we putting out now is going to be a little bit more different. I mean, because the struggle, you know, it's been, what, 5 years? I mean, so it's like it's time for a change. It's really time for a change. So, like, we got to get the fans something different, you know? And with him, and or other artists, Bibby, man, like this label is about to take off, you know, like we're really just in the dark right now with everything that we're doing. I mean, we don't want to give a lot of what we're doing right now.
That's really important is you know, getting to that core base. You know, we're always on board to, you know, be able to help and support, you know, any way that we can. It was always a pleasure, you know what I mean, being in y'all's presence, because it was just like just gorillas in a zoo. Just like
I learned a lot from you, man.
It's gonna be on and popping.
Yeah.
We just ain't have work duckers together.
Yeah.
At the time, everybody was just so trying to do their own thing and just move at a fast pace instead of just let everything soak in and move how we were supposed to move. But now, right now, I got it.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, he keep me motivated, man. He call in the morning like, yo, get up.
I got it.
You know what I mean? What you write last night? You know what I mean? Let me hear it. You know what I mean? Like, he makes sure he book discussions and shit. We've been on our job, man. Like,
so what can the people expect, you know, to see from you visual wise? Like, do you have any video concepts in the workings, anything of that nature?
Yeah, I think we're gonna drop 2 more videos before the year is out. You know what I'm saying? And next year it's gonna be all about the Phoenix, man. The Phoenix is my first official album. I never did an album in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's something. You know what I mean? Now that we got some distribution, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Media famous, shout out to Media famous. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, now that we able to put stuff on all different outlets and everything like that. So I gotta make sure this project is everything that I need to be. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be dropping tracks every 5 minutes and leaking them out. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do no mixtapes or nothing like that. It's just I did enough for that. You know what I mean? We're gonna drop 2 new videos, and then we're gonna proceed with the Phoenix, man, and just go full force from there.
What the project is gonna entail.
Yeah, I was sitting with Uncle Jimmy one day a couple years ago, man, and he was telling me about the Phoenix bird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, it was this bird, and it just rose from the ashes, bro. And he rose from the ashes just on fire. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I'm doing right now. I feel like I'm just rising. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
once this Phoenix drops, I'll be on fire. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm heating up now, but the Phoenix is it's gonna be 12 tracks of all me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have a couple features. You know what I mean? But not too many. Just a lot of the Phoenix is already written. You know what I'm saying? Because it was when I was going through that deep dark period.
Right.
When I was writing these songs that came from the heart, and I didn't want to release all of them. You know what I'm saying? So they're on the Phoenix, man. We did a mixtape. I did a joint mixtape with my man Baby of the Booth.
Okay.
It was called Stories from the Mud, which was it's just full of great jams, man. Like, and the streets end up loving that a little bit. You know what I mean? They all the songs got great views. You know what I mean? The videos turned up.
Okay.
I did the video Since a Youngin'. We shot that with Trey. Shout out to Trey. And I had all the kids in there, man. It was a good time. Finally getting my babies on that camera, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was trying to, I didn't get to get my daughter in there, but I got my 3 boys in there, you know what I mean? They had a good time, and it was just, if I never made $1 off this, at least I could say my kids can always watch this, you know what I'm saying? They can always hear Dad. If anything ever happened to Dad, they can always put this video on YouTube and see their father and them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that meant a lot to me, you know what I mean?
That's dope. That's dope. So one of the purposes that I felt was really, really important, and one of the reasons why I started On My Grind, and this is our very first airing. So apologize for the technical issues, but the official rebroadcast is going to be official. The official podcast is going to be official. We just ran into some tech issues with the live situation for social media, but one of the reasons why I felt it was important, I've been out. You know what I mean? I got involved in music, particularly in Pittsburgh, independent music. From working with Nick Nice. You know what I mean? And I was handling all of his business behind the scenes, so I always was aware of the business side of it. And then from there, we had people reaching out like, "Hey man, we need some help." And Nick was like, "Yo, I absolutely will not do this again. I've done it for 20 years of my life, and I know people. I know how they are. D, you're gonna hit the wall. It's not gonna be worth it." And I'm just as stubborn as you are. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'm different. You know what I mean? I don't care what happened with you. That was you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm different. And unfortunately, some of the same ups and downs and pitfalls, came, through. But for me, it left me a situation where it's like, all right, well, I know that there's a lot of people who don't understand the business side of the music.
Yeah.
So, and I'm in these meetings. I got these high level people that's plugging me into other high level people, and I'm hearing different nuances, and I'm researching them, and they're telling me, hey, you gotta read this book, you gotta get this information, and things like that. So I felt it was like 100% necessary to be on point with the information, and to be able to say, okay, let me see, because the talent isn't a question here.
Yeah.
Talent exists. The problem is the information, the lack of care for the information. As an artist, what do you think? And let me get back to the purpose of On My Grind. So the purpose of this platform is to basically give you all as artists an outlet to connect to the people. You know what I mean? So people can get the backstories to why you're creating what you're creating. So there's more of a catch. besides the business side was the purpose. Like just people going in and you're doing the showcases, but there's a whole bunch of artists rapping in front of other artists. You know what I mean? Like I said, you guys were one of the few people who genuinely had a fan base that would come out and appreciate that music. But one of the reasons why y'all were able to have that fan base was because that was like y'all circle. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a loyal following of people who was all about what y'all had going on, and they believed in y'all, and they had y'all 100% back, right? Most people don't have that privilege. You know what I'm saying? Most people who are making music don't have that already internal infrastructure with a person that's like, hey, I'm going to go see Grimy Click, and I'm going to have 3 or 4 other people come see him with me, and when they see y'all, they're like, oh shit, I'm going to go see him at the next spot, you know what I mean, so forth and so on. So, and to be able to build that organically was a beautiful thing. But again, the purpose is to be able to get the connection for the people so that they can have more understanding as to why you're making the music, right? Yeah. And so what we're doing on our end is trying to provide the information, you know, and really being in position to help the artists on the business side, because you guys have it on the talent side. Yeah. We run into a big disconnect with the information. As an artist, why do you think there's just a low value for appreciation for the business side of the music?
I don't think it's like unappreciated. I think it's just mainly people just don't know. Like you said, like I think we're just blind to it, you know what I'm saying? And we didn't realize, for one, I didn't realize how much shit was really behind the scenes.
Right.
You know what I mean? I figure if I make good music and I put it out there, it'll bite, you know what I'm saying? But it's not that simple, you know what I'm saying? You gotta grind. You gotta grind it all the way out, and there's business moves that have to be made. You gotta have a team with you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have people behind you. You can't do everything by yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
then also, like, coming into a game like this, like, there's nobody to tell you before you step into this game to be business minded. Mm-hmm. Coming into the game, like, everybody's just, oh, you got your foot in the game. It's all about the money now.
Right.
Everybody's just focused on the money. Nobody's really taking the time out to really think, like, well, where's the money really coming from, and who am I giving this money to once I get it? Because it's not just yours.
Right.
You got to pay other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? And like as far as like making the music, like you got producers you got to pay, you got photo people you got to pay. Like sometimes some of these interviews we come into, like people want paid for some of these things, man. And, like coming into this music industry, I ain't gonna say I don't know about nothing else,
right?
Businessly, but this music thing, like nobody really think about their business, you know, because they see everybody else money is just so fast and cars and the shit. They're just being so blinded by the business, you know what I'm saying? Until they get their foot in the door, then you got somebody to sit you down and be like, well, listen, this is what you got to do now that your foot's in the door.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then it's like, it's already too late.
You would never know how much it really takes to build that one album, you know what I'm saying? You think that you just do shit, you know what I mean? Because nobody puts us deep. Nobody put us deep, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just jumped in. And that's what a lot of the artists do. They just jump into this shit thinking you're going to be an overnight success, but it don't work out that way.
And just following different leads that would come up. One thing that I found out that this business is completely different than every other business is the illusion is what's sold, right? The illusion is what's sold. And so the concept of fake it to make it is almost like the infrastructure that exists in the business, on the business side, and the major players and the movers and shakers that actually make it work and make it shake understand that. So they intentionally and deliberately stand off and stay back and allow the artist to get that shine and have that look because they know that's what's going to attract the people, right?
And it's not in them to do it, though. Like, so you allow the next person to do it. Mm-hmm. Like a gimmick. When you come in the game with a gimmick that nobody else is doing, everybody and their mom is going to pay attention to it because it hasn't been done before.
Right.
So now you become the business. You are the business.
Then that's where artists miss the connection.
Right.
It's like exactly you are the business because what you're creating is yours. It's your intellectual property. It's your merchandise. It's everything, right? And so when you don't take the steps to protect that, you know, and to take the proper steps to own that, you then become vulnerable, you know, to the vultures. You know what I'm saying? You become vulnerable vulnerable to the people who will exploit your ignorance and take advantage of the fact that all I want to do is make it, right?
Yeah.
So in our seminars, one of the things that I explain is music is like the celebration. When people get involved in music, all they're looking at like is the celebration in the end zone when it comes down to football, right? And I use football as an analogy because it's a concept that a lot of people can gravitate to, right? So when you look at, you know, give me somebody who scores a lot of touchdowns. Yeah, I wanted to say Antonio. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to say Antonio, but he ain't in the league right now. Yeah, he ain't in the league right now. But, you know, just think about individuals that score touchdowns, right? First thing they do is they get in front of the camera and they start shaking, they start celebrating, right? And everybody sees that celebration and it's like, oh, I want to be able to do that too. What they don't pay attention to is the execution that it takes to get to that end zone, right? And so, exactly. So in music, what we've come to understand is it's very deliberate. It is not accidental like people think, because the people behind the scenes makes it look like it's accidental. Makes it look like, oh, I just created this dope record and all of a sudden it went viral, right? And they allow the artists to believe that, you know, in themselves. So they tell their story how they went to the studio. I hooked up with boys, we was smoking, we drinking the whole nine. We had the bitches and I felt motivated to do this. And I wrote this record and they recorded it. And then boom, all I know is they put the mix down. Next thing I know, I heard it on the radio. Right. You know, my YouTube channel just started booming and all this stuff. It's not like that. What they did was they took that file and they sent it to the individuals behind the scenes that was going to make it shake. And they put together that whole story and they put together the campaign that was necessary to be able to draw the attention to that artist. A professional football player. You know what I mean? Like, you have levels. You have your NFL, you have your college football, you have your European league, you have your Canadian, I guess that's the Canadian league. You got your arena, you got your high school, and then you got Sandlot, right? And so what happens to a lot of artists is they're playing Sandlot music, right? I'm a Sandlot rapper. Yeah, I got my crew, but we out here butt naked, no pads. You know what I mean? Whoever want to get on the field can get on, because we got all these abilities to put out the outlets. And like you said, their allure is the money. It's the celebration. That's all they see. I see Future's video. I see Jay-Z. We see Nas. We see, you know, Little Nas X and all these dudes.
Because where we come from makes us feel exactly what you're saying. I mean, exactly what you're saying. Like, our city is not built off of business. It is, but not for us.
Right.
It's built off business, but not for us. So the people within our city, they lose track of the business mind, and we're so busy trying to fight each other, trying to do other things for ourselves, that we're not focused on, if we did it together, it would be so much better.
Exactly.
And I'm only talking as far as the music, because in any other city, state you go outside of Pittsburgh, they are united.
Misconception. 1000% misconception. It looks like that. It looks like that from the outside going in. But I'm gonna tell you,
I understand what I'm saying though when I say that though. You go down south, them young boys coming out of the south, they put out a song. They have 1,000 people that they can take that music to, listen to that music. They don't get no hate within the city. You know what I'm saying?
Let me explain.
It's not as much hate like in our city. I can't go across the river. Here, man, listen to this. You throw that shit in the trash.
Not necessarily.
Man, it's facts, man.
Not necessarily.
It's facts.
Not necessarily.
It's facts, man.
It varies. It varies. There are some people who will throw your shit in the trash, but there are some folks out here who is 100% in line and on deck to support indie artists.
It's like 1%.
It's a very small percentage.
In our city, right?
It's a very small percentage, but it is growing. It is growing. Now, let me tell you the misconception in regards to like the support system, right? So, in a city like Atlanta, where a lot of people feel like Atlanta is like, you know, the holy grail. You know what I'm saying? It appears that way, that there's just a ton of support, but it's a network, right? So the people who are on are on. The people who want to get on are trying to get with the people who are on, and because Atlanta is such a huge entertainment center, and it's a place where there's a lot of black business. The support looks different, right? So you have venues and you have club owners and you have people who are willing to allow hip hop and R&B and allow the culture to be a part of it. But when it comes down to the ultimate, like the connection between the people, bruh, you go down and talk to an average Atlanta artist, they gonna be, ain't no support for me down here, dog. I gotta get my ass up out of here, man. I'm been down here doing this music thing for 20 years. If I ain't with T.I., if I ain't with Job, if I ain't with the N Crowd, I ain't getting in, and that's just what it is. You know what I mean? And it's like, you know, you gotta, it's a male sport. Like, it's a male sport. So it's like, the mentality is you gotta pay your dues.
Right, but the difference is they have artists that they can look up to within their city.
That's the big difference, exactly.
We don't have that.
They
so
have the infrastructure.
What we're doing here is fighting to get out, to get to those artists, instead of building it here. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my whole problem, and I think, like, if our city was just with ourselves, come within ourselves with this music shit, man, we would be so much better than anybody else, right? So different. In the city, man, like, we would be so much better off just doing us.
And I 100% agree. And one of the things that we would like to see happen is the people who have the outlets to work together at helping artists provide them. But then again, the artists have to be able and be in position to take advantage of those opportunities. Because like you said, it's not a, you know, people don't necessarily volunteer their time and their services to be able to do it because the cameras cost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The radio platforms cost. Like, there's expenses that it takes to be able to provide these outlets. But again, that's understanding the business. That's understanding the execution of plays that it takes in order for one to be able to succeed. And so, I want to be able to continue to open up those resources and be able to share that information that's necessary. But at the same time, I feel like the artist needs to hear from artists. You know what I mean? They need to understand what the ups and downs and the struggles and strengths are, so that, you know, that infrastructure can be built. Because we got DJs, you know, we got media, we got radio, you know what I mean? We got an ability, and the concept of you got to sell out your own city before you can sell out anywhere else is ridiculous right now, because it's a worldwide net web, you know what I'm saying? With social media, the internet, and all of this technology that's out here, you know what I mean? You can have a solid fan base in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be willing to pay you, you know, $10,000, $15,000 a show. You know what I mean? To come out there and rock out because they rocking with your music, because they got accessibility to it. But how do you get that? You know what I mean? And that's where the information and the infrastructure, you know, needs to be more defined. And for us, it's like, okay, I've been blessed to be able to put together the resources to be able to make it happen. Who's willing to take advantage of the opportunity?
Me.
Who's willing to do what it takes to be able to make it happen? And so I think that, you know, you as a manager, you know what I mean, and getting into it, like, there's just certain individuals I feel are really key components that need to be up in the mix, being able to get the information and being able to get exposed to, you know, what the music business really looks like, and not just like a perception. Because I think what kills Pittsburgh is the perception. There hasn't been an entity that exists like us. There hasn't been, where everything is in-house and everything is able to move literally across the country, even globe. You know what I mean? However, the resources that it takes, it's really a budget. Like, I've sat and listened to, I'll just be frank. I just listened to Trina's marketing plan and what the label had to allocate for her to work one record. $50,000. $50,000 to work one record from the label that she signed to. And I had the fortune enough being able to be a part of that team, to be able to help work the record. And we was on a call, and it was shared like, hey, you know, this is what we gonna come up with. I ain't putting no dollar more to it. If it worked, great. If it don't, oh well. You know what I mean? And that's the understanding that executives have when it comes down to the music. All right, when we sat in Def Jam's meeting, and the A&R administrator who we met with, when he was explaining how he has to cut the checks and what he needs in order for people to get their checks, and the fact that a lot of people just ignore it and pass it off, and the frustration that it makes him to get to that level. And we're talking about a record label. We're talking about a whole label. And what they have to do to allocate a budget for artists to be able to go in the studio and record. Business is about business. The reason why people are successful is because they've understood the business and they put a team around them who was business minded and handled it. And wherever the funding came from, whether it was 6ix9ine with blood money behind him, that is all coming out now, which I was telling everybody. Oh man, he trolled the internet. And that's how he did not troll the internet. That dude got a bag behind him, and he got a major bag behind him, and he got some heavyweight behind him that's allowing him to be this reckless. Anybody that reckless is well protected. Is well protected. And then it comes out that it's UBN money. You know what I'm saying? And he was protected by the guards, and now he's telling on them, and you know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens when he gets out of jail next year. But all that to say, again, it's about the business. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize about Jay-Z's never been signed to a record label. He's only been signed to himself. And even though he doesn't say it and it doesn't really come out too much, he's probably the most successful independent artist. Of course, people are familiar with P and Strange Music. What's dude from Strange Music? Tech-Nine. You know what I mean? Tech-Nine is another big one. Yeah, huge.
A lot of people wouldn't know that.
Yeah, huge. You know what I'm saying? But Jay-Z came in the game funding his own projects. You know what I'm saying? And he had a matching funds partnership with I don't remember if Def Jam was his first deal, but can't remember who they had the first, but it's a matching funds. They funded their videos. You know what I mean? They hired the people to put it out and all that stuff there. And these are the same people who are available to do this right now for independent artists. You don't got to be signed to the labels, but you gotta have their checks. You gotta have their bread. And like you said, you gotta understand who you have to pay and when it's necessary to pay them and what needs to be done on the artist side. You know what I'm saying? So that it makes sense. It don't make any sense to pay somebody to promote a record if the business isn't handled where that promotion is actually bringing an ROI. Right. You know what I mean? Which is a return on investment. It's an investment at this point. So there's some elements that, there's some huge disconnects, but I think that, putting together platforms like this is really important. So I appreciate y'all coming up, man. Congratulations on winning the Media Famous Showcase, man. Congratulations on your distribution deal. We already got that set up, and we'll be able to run you through the tutorial on how to put the music out. You as well, how to put the music out. But tell me what it feels like to be able to know that you can release your music legally, and be able to make bread from it at your discretion.
It's a great feeling. I've waited for this shit for a long time, man. It's been a long time coming for this, man. I got like butterflies, you know what I mean? It feels good, man. It's like I know I'm about to have to turn it up, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like all that work I put in, man. We did like 40 shows in 2 years, you know what I mean? Right. There was some of these shows that had 3 people there, man. There was some of these shows where they waited until 2 o'clock in the morning to let me on, you know what I mean? Like I grinded from the mud for this shit. Like I've been out here for a long time trying to do this shit, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Studios all over the city. Some studios I walked into was really trap spots. Right. Niggas with guns everywhere. Like I put my life on the line for this shit, so I want it. You know, I'm hungry. I'm ready.
I remember the time we had the show in Ohio. Right? That's our boss speaker. We had the show in Ohio. We got stuck at the border. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that again just showed me, you know what I mean, the loyalty that y'all fans had for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because it was the fans. It was the fans who said, "Nah, y'all gonna get across this Ohio-Pennsylvania border." It made it happen. You know what I'm saying? And so,
shout out to them 2 girls too, man.
Hey, man, my people are pretty faithful, man. They real faithful, man. Mm-hmm. They keep faith in us. But there's a reason behind that, though, man. I'm loyal to them too. Like, right. A lot of these Pittsburgh rappers, man. I don't like to say no names or nothing, but a lot of these dudes are real big headed. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they made it already, so they're too bougie to fuck with the regular people. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like they want to be up in the VIPs all the time. I don't even like VIP. I want to be down here with everybody else. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these dudes perpetrate like there's something else. I don't do none of that shit. I'm not rich. I never claim to be rich. I'm broke like the rest of us. Right. I'm struggling like the rest of us. I'm just trying to get out the mud.
Right.
And people appreciate that realness, you know what I'm saying?
They definitely
I still
do.
hang out in the local bar up the street, you know what I'm saying? I still hang with the same people. I ain't too big to still rock with everybody else, you know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the loyalty because I get loyalty too, you know what I'm saying?
That's right. I mean, loyalty was a big thing, and you know, it resonates with y'all. You know what I'm saying? It resonates with y'all, and I personally feel like, you know, your reemergence into the music game is going to be a great thing for the city. I already know it's going to be a great thing for you. You know what I mean? Just personally, with you being able to tell your story, and get your, you know, live your passion. But I think ultimately it's going to be a great look for the city. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing that I could say about you is y'all lead by example, man. You know what I mean? Y'all have always led by example. Y'all went out, you know, good, bad, or indifferent. Y'all lived y'all truths on your sleeves. And again, I believe that that's what, you know, the people are going to appreciate. You know what I'm saying? And that's, honestly, it's what the game's been missing. There's so many frauds out here.
I've been saying that, though. I've been saying that for the longest, yo. Like, I pays attention to everything, man. I mean, everything. There's a lot missing in this game, yo. And the shit that's out now is not it. It's not it.
I'm still listening to old shit, man. I can barely. There ain't even too many like new artists that I've been listening to, man.
They just come here. I think every record label needs to come to Pittsburgh, man. Go to every hood, snatch every nigga off the corner, man. Just put them in the booth and just let them spit, man, for like a good hour, yo. I'm telling you, we will not be upset. Our city is the truth, man. And I'm not saying this for no hood, none of that shit. I've never been the one to like just wreck my hood. Like I've always been about PGH, yo, 412,
right.
The entire city, man. And that's what a lot of people get it fucked up too with this music shit. They just stuck in where they from, right? So when they come out and they do their music and they're just all about my hood, they pushing everybody else in the city away. They don't want to hear it.
Right.
They don't want to hear it.
Somebody told me that was that a long time ago, man. My big brother dad, he was like, you gotta realize what you're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? And he was like, if you want to make music for the world, you know what I'm saying? You gotta change your whole style up, like just your content, you know what I'm saying? He was like, you can't get on here screaming gang and anybody can get on there screaming Crips, Bloods, G's and all that other shit. Anybody can do that, but all you're doing is minimizing your crowd, you know what I'm saying? Right. If you get on here screaming this gang shit, ain't nobody else trying to hear you. I mean, if they ain't part of that gang, they ain't really trying to hear you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it would be stupid of you to do shit like that, you know what I'm saying? You can be all about your hood, your neighborhood, and your section without having to scream and holler on every track, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm mainly just trying to put on for the boys in the mud. I don't know where you from. You know what I mean? If you're going through the struggle, if you feel like you're on your last leg, I'm the guy for you, you know what I'm saying? Keep it pushing. Let's go.
Here it is.
Yes, sir.
But in wrapping up, man, just, you know, any shout outs, producers that you're working with, studios that you're going into?
Man, shout out to James Webb. You know what I mean? He been spicing my work up for a while. Shout out to Sleeves, man. Sleeves is a banger for me, man. This thing is crazy, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, shout out to DJ Goodnight, man. He family, man. He been rocking with us since day one.
Goodnight had y'all back from the mud.
DJ Rojo, he down in Florida. He just came up here.
Yeah, man, shout out to Rojo, man.
Rojo, a big part of us, man. There's all the boys, my right hand man Bib, you know what I mean? Bibby out the booth.
Definitely shout out to Bib, man. And be on the lookout for that Bibby full tank, man.
Tank, he about to drop that.
Man, single and video coming soon.
Yeah, Bib, man, you hot, man. Everybody else, man. There's all the peoples, man. All the homeboys been rocking with me since day one, you know what I'm saying? We still trying to get it on. You gotta look out for my sister, man. My sister, her name is Leah Renee.
Leah Renee?
Yeah, Leah Renee. We just, I was going to track at the crib, and she kept telling me, bro, let me sing. You know what I mean? This is my sister. We came up the same Vajiji, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never knew she could sing like this, bro. You know what I'm saying? My man Al kept telling me, bro, you gotta have somebody with some soul on your shit. I'm like, yeah, whatever, Al, I can do it. You know what I mean? Like, let me go. Yeah, I wasn't really listening, because, like I said, hard-headed, like always, you know what I'm saying? Man, she came in, I gave her the hook. She flipped it, did some other shit, man. She murdered the whole song, dog. So I can't wait for y'all to hear that. Can't wait to hear that.
I can't wait to hear it,
That's
man.
my big sister, Leah Renee. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to her. And from there, man, you know what it is. Grammy, we still here.
Yeah,
We
man.
trying
Shout
to
out
get
to the
on.
whole Grammy Click family, man. Shout out to the whole Grammy family, man.
Yeah.
Real rap. But it's DTR.
Tell me what that means. DTR.
DTR, deeper than rap.
Some shit deeper than rap.
Some shit deeper than rap.
That's what's up, man. So y'all got any merch? Anything out?
Coming soon.
Coming soon, man. We working on all that. We trying to put all the pieces to the puzzle together before we
We're working on that right now.
Okay. All right. Websites, social media.
We working on all that, but you know my social media is still the same, man.
They don't know. Tell the people.
Rugal Ron, man. You can look me up anywhere you go, man. Instagram, O.M.G. Rugal Ron. Facebook, Rugal Ron Flanagan. It's just me, man. You can YouTube it. You can Google it. I'm a little bit everywhere, man.
That's what's up, man. Well, thanks for coming down, man.
Appreciate you, man.
You know, I appreciate y'all for showing some love to us, man. And you know, this is our first episode, man. The inaugural episode of On My Grind Radio, man. And like I said, I apologize for the streaming delays that's going on Facebook. But we will have the recap video courtesy of Joanna IIC Media. She's getting all of that, man. So shout out Joanna for making time to come down.
Shout out
And
Joanna.
be able to make it happen, man. The team, whole Grind Mode Music Worldwide team, Grind Mode Management, Grind Mode Worldwide Radio. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people who work behind the scenes to be able to provide these opportunities, and I'm just blessed to be, you know, have a good team of individuals and a good circle. So I definitely want to take a moment to shout everybody out, you know, in that regard. And yeah, check for the podcast. I should have that up and ready tomorrow. And I'll have the link sent out to y'all so y'all can tune in. That'll be up on Spotify, and that'll be up on Apple Podcasts as well. Recap video will come out, and yeah, there it is, man. On my grind. We'll get y'all the footage and you know, use it and share it with your people.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. They don't know how I feel. I've been in the field running, trying to shake something, and ain't all for the thrill. It ain't all dollar bills, I'm really trying to build. They don't know how I feel. But if I tell you how I feel, don't play me, baby, let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it true for you.